You got it on, you break it down and roll one.
So Tyreke Hill gets a new deal from the Miami Dolphins. It's a 3-year, $90 million deal. So let's see what the incentives are, and let's get right into it, hopefully. All right. Any second now. Any second. Okay, there we go. You gotta remember my Comcast is weird, bro. It's so weird.
We got breaking news out of the NFL. The Miami Dolphins and wide receiver Tyreke Hill have agreed on a new 3-year contract worth $90 million. That's according to multiple.
Damn, that's crazy, bro. 3 years, 90 million, 65 million guaranteed, chat. He has to be the top. Yeah, I think he is the top paid receiver. Damn, that's crazy. Now, it's not that far off on price. He's a top talent. He's an elite receiver. Shout out to him for getting his money.
Botrix says, subscribe, like and follow my social media. Botrix says, subscribe, like and follow my social media.
What's up, GPB_222? I appreciate you, Brody, stopping by. Like always.
Reports. The deal includes $65 million in guaranteed money, which means over the next 4 years.
What I was saying is, like, football players average like 3.5 years on the average. Of course, Tyreke Hill is like an elite football player. So his is like, his ceiling is probably going to be like around 5 to 8 years on the average. But, you know, so get your money, man. I ain't mad at him at all. Football is a very physical game.
Hill is set to make $106 million fully guaranteed, the most of any wide receiver in NFL history. Hill, of course, led the NFL in receiving last season with almost 1,800 yards.
Wait a minute, look at his stats, though. You can't get like, oh man, they're overpaying him. Guy almost had 2,000 yards receiving and almost 15 touchdowns. And look, the year before that, he had just as much as receiving yards. Now his touchdowns went up the last year, but I think he got hurt or something. And you have to understand, he is on a loaded team that has a plethora of offensive weapons. So 7 touchdowns, 1,800 yards is pretty good. 100 receptions, you go over 75 receptions. That's a great season. And he's almost doubled that. You know what I mean?
One point he was closing in potentially on 2,000. He also had 13 touchdowns on the year.
And it says right there at the bottom, first player in history to get multiple of 1,700 yards or more.
Was recently named the #1 player in the league after a vote from NFL players, but the money is talking in Miami. We're going to continue to keep you updated on this story as it develops, so stick with us here on HQ.
Yeah, because he was voted the #1 guy. You know, #1 top NFL player was Tyreke Hill, voted top 100 by his peers.
Well, we are continuing to follow the breaking news out of the NFL. The Miami Dolphins and wide receiver Tyreke Hill have agreed on a new 3-year contract worth $90 million. That's according to multiple reports. The deal includes $65 million in guaranteed money. That means over the next 4 years, Hill is set to make $106 fully guaranteed, the most of any receiver in NFL history. As we know, Tyreke Hill led the NFL in receiving.
I know a lot of the wide receivers like, yes. But the reason why they're cheering yes, you guys, and a lot of you may know, is because if his money goes up, that means everybody money goes up. Even the most bench player wide receiver, even his money goes up. So it raises everybody's price being a wide receiver in the NFL.
Last year with almost 1,800 yards and 13 touchdowns, and he was recently named the #1 player in the league after a vote from fellow NFL players. And that report has since been confirmed by our Jonathan Jones. And so for more on this big news out of Miami, we bring in friend of the program, Mike.
All right, so that's what I was hoping. I was like, oh, they're just gonna run the same thing back. But I'm glad they're gonna have someone talk about it.
Cunio, who covers the Dolphins very closely. Mike, Tua said it earlier in the week, show me the money. Now it's time for Tyreke to say the same thing. This is something that's kind of been brewing for a while now, and we knew Tyreke wanted to stick around in South Florida for a while. What can you tell us about Tyreke Hill becoming a much richer man?
Oh, much richer, much humbler man. I think that's what we can say about Tyreke Hill now. Last year he comes out with this huge declaration. I want to be the first wide receiver in the league to have 2,000 yards in a season. This year he kind of backs off that and said, hey, you know what, that would be great, but team success this year certainly coming first. And to that point, he even said, when asked about his new deal or getting a new deal, he said, look, I just don't want to be traded. I obviously want to be compensated for what my numbers and what my production says, but
Exactly. Why would you want to leave Miami? The team is already loaded. They're a team that's one of the better teams in the AFC. Why would you want to leave there? The weather is beautiful. The women are beautiful. The culture is really good. The food is good. I mean, the houses are beautiful. I mean, like, why would you want to leave Miami, right?
I want to be here in Miami. So it was quite the point he was making early on during camp that I'm not here to ruffle feathers. I'm not here to be that quote unquote, diva wide receiver. Yes, I want to be compensated for what my production has said, but I do want to stay in Miami. I'm not trying to rock the boat. And it's been very team first from Tyreke Hill. That is the message he's been putting out there all offseason long. And the Dolphins are rewarding him. And rightfully so. I mean, he just gets voted the #1 player by his peers in the NFL. So obviously he certainly deserved this money, and now he's getting it.
Yeah, Tua as well, always saying team first, team first, team first. So you can see that sort of resonating throughout the locker room. And like I said, they paid Tua, they paid Tyreke, they handled some guys on the defensive side of the ball as well. This feels like Mike McDaniel going into year 3.
Now, Mike McDaniel trying to keep his team together. Mike McDaniel's a freaking genius. My favorite team is San Francisco 49ers. So, us over here in San Francisco, we miss Mike McDaniel, bro. And then when he left, we realized that he was one of the guys that was doing a lot of the good play calling for Kyle Shanahan. I'm not saying Kyle Shanahan doesn't know what he's doing. He's a genius too. But I'm just saying, Mike McDaniel was a little bit different on coordinating the games and the plays and stuff like that.
He knows what he has on the roster. Clearly, Chris Greer and the crew want to keep the band together, so to speak. So now that the money has sort of been situated here, Mike, what is the outlook for this Dolphins team other than, again, that money flowing quite freely in South Florida?
The outlook is they have to win a playoff game. It's been very obvious that they know it's been a 24-year drought for this franchise.
Yeah, they already got the playoff things. They're like, that's automatic. They got to start winning, bro. They have to start winning.
Dating back to their last playoff win, they know that's kind of hanging over them. They know that's the narrative. They know the narrative that winning late in January and December has not been happening here the last.
I ain't gonna lie, I didn't know it was that long. Shit. That's a long time. That's 24 years, bro. So, I say 23. I guess, yeah. Okay, yeah. 23 years. I guess I get they're saying this will be the 20. Okay.
Few years, especially under head coach Mike McDaniel, so they want to change that. They say, the only way to change it is to change it. You can't keep operating the same way. So they know there's a window here. Even if you go back to Tyreke Hill getting asked about when his Tua's deal going to be in, is he going to hold out? Tyreke is saying, no, look, we know our guy likes the ball. We know he wants.
I thought they were going to win that game at Buffalo, though. That the 2022 game, man, that was a really good game. They were so close to winning that game. But the other games, they didn't do too well. They really didn't. If you look at their now. Well, I mean, recently, 2022 and 2023 is the team they have now. Of course, 2016, the team was a lot different than they are. That was 8 years ago. What, 8 years? Six? What, 4? What, 6 years ago? Yeah. So, yeah, a lot of time has passed. But the last two seasons, yeah, Kansas City, man, they're just the franchise right now. I don't think Kansas City is gonna go to the Super Bowl. They may not even make it to the NFC Championship game this year, but because obviously every team has hit their window where they have to go through a year or two before they go back up. I do think they're gonna be competitive though, but I think if any team needs to raise their bar, it's the Dolphins and the Bills. Are the two teams. But anyway, I thought that was pretty cool news. for him and the wide receivers getting money. Congratulations to Tyreke Hill getting his new money. And all right, so we see Team USA.
You got it on, you break it down and roll one.